What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Sanity Symphony Podcast, here with your host, Official Insanity. And today I'm joined with a special guest, DJ Marquito. Say what's up to the guys.
What's up, guys? What's up? I appreciate you having me this week, man. I've been tapped in. We're looking at what you're doing, and it's an honor to be here, man. Appreciate it, Anthony.
Yes, sir. It's my pleasure to have you here. Here we're gonna speak on your journey on how you got to Sirius XM and the way you got to your path to your career and how you wanted to get to where you are in life right now.
Right. Yeah, man. It's been a long journey. To make it where I'm at. I'm extremely blessed and thankful. To be where I'm at. I feel like not a lot of people in this world could generally say that they get to wake up, every morning and, go to work and do what they love to do. So, I'm blessed in that regard. I've loved the music industry. I feel like the people in the music industry that really love what they do, I feel like they're almost born to just be in the music industry, or they're born to have a liking in music. Because one thing that people don't realize is that music and being in this industry, it's a 24/7 kind of workload. It's never stops. You're working on holidays, you're working on weekends, long nights and stuff like that, but it's all worth it. Everything that we do, as Sirius is for our listeners, it's for our channels, it's for ourselves. And we're endlessly finding new opportunities and ways that we can grow and provide an amazing listener experience, man. So, that's my job currently right now, coordinate a few channels, do some producer work for my channels as well. And I love everything that I do. But with that being said, it's taken me a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, a lot of, denial in regard to, me applying for internships and stuff like that. And it may not working out, or it may not being the right time. And you just got to know that just because it's not the right time now doesn't mean that, it'll never be the right time for you. You trust God's path and the path that you have for yourself. Compare yourself to others, and you keep your head strong. You give yourself the encouragement that you need. You are your number one fan. You are your biggest motivator in life. Yeah, you could get stuff from other people, but it's always good to keep your head straight, man, especially in this industry that's just going by quick. Everything is just with technology too. Everything is just rapidly advancing. So it's always good to be quick to change things and to be put on to new things. So yeah, man.
No doubt, bro. And can you speak on the origins on what led to your passion and working in the music industry?
Right. So I fell in love with music at a really, really young age. In my house, my dad, he always had Alex Sensation, who was a DJ on La Mega. It's one of the biggest Latin platforms in the country, not even the
Mega
world.
se pega.
La Mega se pega, exactly. My man, Anthony, you're Latino too, right? You're Latin?
Yeah, Ecuador.
Ecuadorian? Damn,
Yes,
I thought you're
sir.
like Puerto Rican or something, Dominican or something, bro.
I
Is
get that a
Ecuadorian?
lot.
You get that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you already know La Mega se pega, man. That man, Alex Sensation. I have always aspired to be like him in life. Fortunately, I was able to meet him once, and the encounter was amazing. He literally told me, I was like, "You're gonna know me one day, man." He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Marco." He goes, "I already know you, bro." So I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." But yeah, man, I would always listen to Alex Sensation ever since I was a young kid, and at home, always put on to new styles and different genres of music. Excuse me. And that's when I truly fell in love with music. When I was in high school, I think I still have it on me right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, look, my little iPod Nano. I would have this everywhere. You remember these?
Yeah, I used to have a white one.
That's
The all
crazy.
white one.
I would have this with me everywhere, man, even in school. But mine, I thought I was so cool because mine had the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always have like throwbacks, the current hits, party songs, everything on this Nano. And it was just, a way that I was able to just vent with music. I always would just resort to music with anything, whether it was before a basketball game, after a game, if I was sad about something, I would always resort to music. And want to say when I was like in 7th grade going into 8th grade, there was this girl in my class. She had a birthday party. Parents, they rented out like this big section in this restaurant. Half of the restaurant was for all the kids to eat, and the other half was like this ballroom. So after the kids finished eating, the whole class, the whole grade, excuse me, they all went into the ballroom, and the restaurant threw on like a Taylor Swift album. Obviously, in an album, unless it's like a timeless album, you know, we only know about three songs that are hits, out of the album. Usually people don't know every song word for word out of the whole album. So I went ahead and I started messing around with the aux chords and stuff like that. And I plugged in my iPod. And that's when I realized, like, oh wow, like I'm in control of the vibe right now. Like people are vibing to what I'm playing. And there were a few songs that I played that I was like, ugh, that people looked at me like, next song. And then I realized, like, wait, I'm in control of the vibe right now. Anything that I play, people are like, either gonna leave the dance floor or stay on, right? And I was like, this is my job now to make sure that what I'm outputting, I'm entertaining people, and I love that feeling of people going, "Whoa!" Like I haven't heard this one in a long time. Like that response from the crowd just meant the world to me. Like wow, like my work was paying off, you know. So, um, yeah, man. As that week progressed, people started calling me, a DJ, this and that, and it just gave me a title and a feeling that I love. My grandfather was, uh, he was a composer in music. He wrote lots of music, so I feel that his musical ways were kind of instilled in me in some way. And he was really big on art as well. And my sister's an amazing artist, so I feel like the art kind of characteristic went to her. But to get back to the story, man, as I progressed and went into high school as well, I wasn't I was good at basketball, but then I realized, with all the teams and the competition, I went to a tournament in DC, and I realized that everyone was just better than me. I was stronger than me, younger than me, faster than me. They had everything that was, they were just all around better players than I was. And that's when my dad kind of pulled me to the side on the way back to Jersey and was like, listen, you could get money back in life, you could get people back in life, relationships, but you can't get your time back in life. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you wasting your time right now. You know, I don't see you getting a scholarship in school. I don't see you going to the NBA. I'm 6 foot and I was playing center. And there's kids from Florida, even in DC, whatever, that were younger than me. Bro, 6'5", shooting threes, dunking, everything. I can't dunk. I still can't dunk, you know? So he was like, listen, use your time wisely, think about it. But in regards to you trying out for the basketball team and stuff next year, do something that you love to do. And he was like, listen, your high school right now, the school that I went to was called St. Joseph Regional. They were like a powerhouse in football. We would play, schools in Florida, Baltimore, everywhere, man. And there was just really massive crowds on Saturdays at my high school, but they were lacking something. And I saw that they lacked entertainment and keeping the crowd engaged and the student section engaged. One day I set up my DJ equipment, spoke to the head coach. He was like, yeah, man, let's try it out. For the rest of that season, they went like undefeated. And I was like, wait, I'm controlling the vibe of the game, the hyping up the players, hyping up the student section. Parents are like asking for my business cards. Like, oh, I had music to cater to everyone. I was playing rock in the morning for the parents. I was playing hip hop for the players. And I was playing like pump up music for the student section. I had music for everybody. And I was like, damn, this is the way that I could be a part of my passion and love for sports and my love for music and bring it into one. So yeah, I might not still be on the field playing, but I was still on the field and a part of the game in some different sort of way, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. And fortunately, it's been able to grow to me doing work, at MetLife Stadium, MSG, and a whole bunch of other stuff, man, for their games and stuff. So it's grown to something that I could have never imagined, and I'm really happy and I'm thankful that I have a father that was able to guide and give me a lot of constructive criticism in that moment that I felt kind of stuck in my life. So that's what kind of flourished me into Marquito.
And could you speak on like what were some things you learned within like your journey of through college radio, the meet and greets and the studio
Right.
sessions that you got to be a part of?
Yeah, man. So outside of all the private events that I was doing, for my high school and for a whole bunch of other different clients that I was getting, when I went to college, I realized I've always loved radio. I just needed to find a way that I can be involved with it. So at the time in high school, I was really young to have an internship. So when I went into college, I was like, wait, there's a college radio station here, and this is all available to us, and all we have to do is be a student. So I immersed myself into the college radio program, and I was like, listen, we're in the biggest market, which is New York City. You know, there has to be a market for college radio. It can't just be all these professional platforms. And it bothered me because I would see so many artists, um, authors, comedians, entertainers, whatever it may be, journalists, they would come to New York on their promo runs, right? And I would see them through their manager's stories or whatever. They would go to all these different outlets, but they would always bypass college radio. And I'm like, wait, but there's a young market here, which is college radio, which college consumers, and they could be provided insight on whatever they want to get into in life. So if I have an author and someone wants to get into uh you know being a doctor, and let's say the author is writing a book on their whole career being a doctor, I could get an audience for that, and I was able to create that. So there was a bunch of people that wanted to get into the music industry or be whatever it may be, and I would put one and two together to make sure that instead of us having them right next to me in the studio. Now all of a sudden I'm doing, album release parties and listening sessions, bringing in the college crowd while having the guest speaker there. And I realized that I was putting events together. I was doing stuff that was bigger than the studio, which I absolutely loved. You know, I was able to have a bunch of amazing people, from rappers to entertainers to people in the music industry that were highly, knowledgeable, and they were able to give a lot of gems and advice to my market, which was young college, students that are just starting life in regards to getting into that second chapter of their life, professionally, and going into the workforce or corporate America, whatever it may be. So fortunately, that went really well, man. Really, really well.
Shout out. And I could say I'm definitely one of those people that's the rising stars in the college scene right now.
Sure, man. Hell yeah, man. I mean, I'll be honest, Anthony. Like sometimes I look at you and I see a lot of the stuff, in myself and what I was trying to do, man. And I love that for you. Um, I went to all these other different radio stations, but I found something that's serious that I loved, and it was that people at Sirius care about your story. They care about what you're trying to do. They care about you in general. Everyone can understand that this music industry is very, very time consuming, but people generally care about your well being, how you are. And I love that about Sirius. Not that they weren't doing that in other places, but I just got a different sense and a different vibe and aura from Sirius. And I was like, I want to be a part of that family. So I could definitely see a lot of characteristics that you have that kind of align with our company culture at Sirius, man. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. Like there's so many people, Anthony, that are watching your podcast that you had no idea, bro. That's how social media works. Invest in yourself. Your biggest investment is in yourself and your platform, what you're doing. And once you get to where you want to get to, don't stop. You know, I paused my DJ career just for a little bit, just so I could focus on this sector of my life. That was one of the biggest mistakes I ever did. I just lost 2 years out of that. I should have kept progressing with DJing while I'm working in my job. It's okay to do that though. At the end of the day, it's something that you're doing to benefit your own career and yourself, man. But shout out to you, bro. You know, I would love to see so many amazing things for you and your platform, man. So continue to do amazing things, bro. I have a few pointers for you too after the interview and stuff like that too, man. That could possibly help you. For
I
sure.
appreciate that. I appreciate
Hell
that.
yeah,
That really
man.
means a lot, man. And as you were speaking on your story, I was like in my head saying like, wow, I can actually relate to a lot of the stuff you're saying. Like as far
Yeah.
as like I came up in basketball too, like with the passion in basketball, and then I realized I got cut a lot in the high school team. So like,
Yeah.
but I never had the mentality to let it discourage me and give up. Like I kept going,
Mhm.
and then when COVID hit, they shut down all the gyms, they shut down the
Yeah.
college
Oh,
team. So
hard.
at that point, there was no more opportunities for me to do. So at that point, I was lost in what career fair I wanted to do, you know.
Right.
And then, like you said, I got introduced to music, and I fell in love with the psychological aspect of the reaction people like give when you're playing a song, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't heard this song since I was
Yeah.
little. This brings me back to this time." Like, I love that reaction, man.
Yeah.
And I also love the reaction of like when you're listening to a new song and people hear a certain bar and they're like, "Ooh," like they felt it, the
Yeah.
connection. Like that's
Uh-huh.
just like that's what I love about the hip hop culture and how powerful and impactful hip hop can be, or any
Nah, for
music in
sure.
general.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Music, um, music has been such a big part of my life in so many ways. And the fact that I'm able to help coordinate different channels, from the Pitbull Globalization channel to the Sinatra channel to the Groove, while producing different shows on a daily basis, like it's a blessing, man. It really is a blessing. And like I told you earlier, man, I love everything that I do, and I'm still constantly learning. I still constantly want to know more about the genres uh, that I have to, output on each channel. Frank Sinatra, he may be dead, man, but there's so much to, want to learn, because the more you want to learn, the more you're able to expand and immerse yourself more in the channel and come up with different, ways, and you get to be more innovative and stuff like that, man. So, especially in the music industry, you are constantly going to keep learning. I'm learning something new on my job every single day. Um, so if you keep an open mind and stuff like that, man, you will succeed a lot, especially in this industry.
And your early days working at Sirius, could you speak on like some obstacles you had to overcome and challenges you were able to achieve?
Yeah, definitely understanding a new workflow. Um, my kind of blueprint of the music industry was totally not what I expected it to be. Um, and I say it in a good way. You know, there's so much to music programming and coordinating a channel than people really think. It's not just putting music on your channel, letting it play, and that's it. There's so much that comes a part of being a music coordinator. Coming up with different ways that we get to keep our listeners in tune on the channel, coming up with ways on how we could keep the listener on the weekends, coming up with different new show ideas, what music is appropriate at which times of the day, controlling people's moods, which DJs are appropriate for which hours, um, promotions. Man, there's so much. There's so much. Um, if keeping track of artists' birthdays, anniversaries, deaths, a whole bunch of stuff, specialty shows, man. There's I could write a book on how much there is to being a music coordinator. Um but yeah, man, it's at first it was a lot to digest at first. But when you truly love something, you do your homework. And I was working with different softwares and systems that I've never ever seen or known that were existed in my life. So I would go home on the train or on the bus and just YouTube different stuff and just want to know more about what I'm doing and how I could be better, tips and tricks. You know, what I do on the Pitbull channel is not what I do on the Sinatra channel. What I do on the country channel is not what I do on another channel. I started at Sirius part-time, you know. And I'm very thankful for my process at Sirius. I literally started from the bottom and try to work my way up. You know, would I ever expected I would be where I'm at today? Heck no. But I trusted in my process and me wanting to learn more and stuff. And fortunately, it's allowed me to be where I'm at today. But in regards to the trials and stuff that was hard, yeah, definitely trying to understand the industry at first, understanding the different softwares and stuff. But like I told you a whole bunch of times, man, just how Tom Brady has a whole week to prepare to make sure that he's good to go on game day. And LeBron and Jordan have, do the same thing. They do their homework off the court. So when they're on the court, they're ready to go. I knew that by the time my shift started, I had to understand and know my workload, know that at 6 a.m. this goes here, at 5 p.m. this goes here, at 10 p.m. this goes here, understanding what it is to check all the channels to make sure that there's music to reach to fulfill 12 a.m. So the channel doesn't have an outage or anything like that. man, there's so much, and yeah, doing your homework is key. You know, it's just like studying for a test, preparing yourself for game day. That's key in life, man.
That's right. And one thing I learned from Sway's show, like listening to his show throughout the years, I've learned about doing your homework means a lot, and as well from Destroy too, because like the reaction that you get from your interviewer or the interviewee, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
when they see that you actually care, like you did your research and you
Yeah,
did like the deep, thorough research and made sure that the resource that you got your information from was reliable and not just someone saying certain information, you know?
right, right. Yeah, man. Doing your research, not only does it look good on your part, but it makes everything come off way more organic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like if you're the person that's being interviewed, it shows a lot to the person that's interviewing you, and it makes the interview more well-rounded when you know that someone cared to take the time to make you look good,
Mm-hmm.
and also took time to know more about your career. And it allows the artist or the guest an opportunity to share new things or things that people really didn't know about them, or challenge their mind in a good way. You know, one thing that I love about Sirius too is that many of our hosts are not trained, but they know that, you know, they're not really here to trap the guests. They're not here to get a viral moment out of you in regards to you saying X, Y, and Z about somebody else, or a culture or a race or whatever. Like we're trying to get the best content out of people, you know. And one thing that bothers me about the music industry right now is that on many platforms, as you and I see every single day, they have artists come on, and then all of a sudden they'll only promote the 1 minute that they were saying X, Y, and Z about some other artist, or how they go about recording music in studios or whatever it is. And it's like, damn, what happened to the other 25 minutes that they provided amazing content? But that platform only wants to, have clickbait and output the viral moment or stuff like that. As Serious is more about just giving off and going about giving good content. So I love that. I love that. Having a positive mindset and not trapping the guest and making them feel uncomfortable, and having them saying either something that they'll regret, or something that that will cause a reaction. You want to get a reaction out of someone? Say something good, you know? Oh, Anthony, before his interviews, he loves to eat Skittles, or like something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meg the Stallion, I think, or even like someone with like a Marshawn Lynch. He's a, ex NFL running back. Him saying in an interview, like, man, I used to bust down Skittles during the game. Like, that's a good viral moment. Like, damn, people didn't know that, not like, oh, you know, Anthony, to be honest, he gave bad pep talks before the game. Like, it didn't even hit me like that, to be honest. And now all of a sudden they're posting that everywhere. And it's like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's one thing also I agree on. I also like I'm more appealed towards satellite radio than working for like media outlets because
Right.
it's like you said, like they're more based on like clickbaits, and there are some platforms that are more focused on like the negative impact on the post and just the overall learning experience that they're trying to give the listeners to.
For sure.
And like it also just shows like your lack of credibility because you could be going off of what anyone is saying on the street, or a random could send you something like on Instagram or something. You're immediately quick to post it, and it could
No,
be
of course.
false information that you're spreading
Yeah.
already.
I mean, there's so many third-party accounts, man. Even on TikTok or like Instagram, I'm just like, or like X, I'm
Yeah.
just like, what's the point of even, people feed into that,
Mm-hmm.
if they care to feed into that, whatever, that's them. But um, it's always good to have a credible, good, clean, portfolio as a person that interviews other artists or people, because many other guests may say, you know what, I don't want to go to Anthony only because I know he's going to trap me or he's going to make me look bad. And everything in the music industry too is by word of mouth. So if an upcoming artist, you know, had an interview with you, and all of a sudden that upcoming artist now has a kind of like a staple name, and is friends with another artist in the industry that you want to have in your show, they may say, "Oh, yo, I saw you were on the show. How was it? Because the guy reached out to me too. Say, oh, Anthony's a good guy, man. Like, it was 1, 2, 3. It was a good interview. He wasn't trying to trap me like those other outlets. It was a good interview, man. You're safe. You're good. Stuff like that will take you a long way, man. So everything in the music industry too is about like credibility. People asking other people like, hey, is it safe to go that way? Is that good? Yeah, you're good. Okay, perfect. So yeah, man, keep up the good work, bro. Keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Always. And with my interviews, I want it to be a safe place, as if like you're in a therapy session. Because right now I'm majoring in psychology. I want to be a clinical counselor and also work in radio as well.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about like my interviews, my approach is like I want my guests to like share their story from their lowest moment to where they are in life now. That way the listener can listen to the domino effect, and it can spread to other listeners as well. Like if he was able to overcome all that stuff that I'm currently going through, then I know I can
Right.
overcome it too. I just got to put in the persistence and the dedication like they did.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, bro. I mean, over the pandemic, I was working for Amazon. I was dropping off packages, all these different towns and houses and stuff like that, from 8 a.m. all the way until like almost sometimes like 9 o'clock at night, getting back into that station. Confused in life, not knowing what direction to go in, trying to think, should I still pursue this small dream of mine? Um, Confused, stuck. But it's those moments in life, Anthony, that you realize, man, like, wow, like I really overcame all of that, And I'm not saying that those jobs are bad. That's not what I'm trying to say, is that every individual in life knows what they want to do. And sometimes you have to take jobs or sacrifice certain things in a certain time, um, to get to where you want to get to. And finally, when you get to the top of the mountain, man, and you realize, like, damn, like I did all of this. I did all of this. I took on all these sacrifices, and I finally made it to where I want to make it. You know, Sometimes I still go to work and I look up at the sun and I'm like, I'm 2 years in and I still can't believe I'm here, you know, with all the hard work, the sacrifices, the dedication, the emotional stress, mentally, physically, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. And when you realize, that you could push yourself and get to where you want to get to in life, it makes you hungry for more. Because you're like, you know what? I did it myself. I did it. I'm at the top of the mountain now. Now it's time to conquer another mountain, meaning like something else in your life that you wanted to do, And it's very comfortable. It's very easy to get comfortable in the top of the mountain. Now it's like, okay, I don't have 1 foot in. I have 2 feet in, 2 feet in now. Now it's time to work, So all your other distractions, anything that's bothering you in life, you got to block it off, you know? You got to master it. You got to preserve it. Um, And by preserve it, I mean like take care of, whatever it is that you work for, take care of it. There's gonna be people around you that are jealous of you. There's gonna be people asking you for favors now. There's gonna be people that never responded to you that now that they see you're an asset. They're like, hey, oh, Anthony's over there now. Let me try to see how I can get at him. I'm not saying that that's bad, but just preserve your identity, preserve your job, preserve everything that you do, because you worked hard for it. You don't want anybody to degrade what you work for. You know, that's something that I failed to realize. Um, that I failed to realize. At early stages in life, to just preserve what you do. Preserve your name, preserve your energy, preserve, um, the people you keep around you, because it could affect your output, it could affect your name, it could affect anything that you do, man. So always just stay quote unquote woke, and know the company you keep and everything that you do, man, because at the end of the day, everything that you do is going to fall back on you, because there's consequences to everything in life, man. So yeah, bro.
And to what you said earlier, there's a saying, sometimes you got to go through hell in order to get to heaven, meaning like, you got to fight through those obstacle courses in life, those times when you had to work those overnight jobs or low paying jobs just to
Yeah,
invest in
man.
yourself and get to where you want to get to. There's no
Yeah, man.
overnight success, there's no straight road, there's going to be bumps in every path.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so much to it, man. like I said, emotional stress to physical stress to, fortunately me, I was able to resort a lot to my faith, and that's what got me through a lot of things in life. You know, just saying like, God, clear my mind, allow me to get to this next step, allow me to get to where I want to get to. And some people resort to therapy, some people resort to whatever it may be in life. I resorted to good faith, music, and the gym, man. I told him I would just always resort to those three things. And I knew that fortunately I would get to where I want to get to. And I knew that God had a path for me. And he would never put me through something that I couldn't go through. So I just had to strap down, put my big boots on and say, let's do this. Let's do this. And over that time, I realized I was working on myself mentally with my faith, physically with going to the gym, and emotionally with music. Throughout that whole pandemic and everything, I was able to kind of have something for all my needs and during those hard times, man. So yeah, man. Fortunately, it's helped me, and I hope it helps anybody that's watching this right now. If you're in school and you feel like you're stuck, you're not making enough money, it's because you're in school right now. You're focusing on getting through that one part in your life that will help you get to the other part. But you can't skip step 3 and all of a sudden want to get to 5. You got to get through step 3 and 4. Being in school, graduating, allowing yourself to get to those next steps. So it's easy to want stuff rushed. It's easy to do all of that. It's easy to go on Instagram, see a motivational quote, and all of a sudden you're trying to figure out all your problems in one day. It's not how it works. You got to go step by step. You got to digest things and allow yourself to get to that step. Because most of the times we get so cluttered, man, with just so much stress, so much anxiety, so much depression, so many things that you got to create like a callus in your mind that triggers those negative ideals. That triggers a, hey, listen, I gotta stay sharp. I gotta stay on the plan because God's gonna test you many times. The devil's gonna test you many times throughout your journey, and you gotta just stay sharp. You know.
Was there any people that you wanted to like shout out that helped you throughout your journey from the beginning to where you are now?
Yeah. Oh my God. So many people, man. First, my parents. Definitely my parents are my foundation. They're my backbone. They're everything. They supported me throughout everything in life. And I thank my mom, my dad endlessly for all their sacrifices, for all their guidance, for everything that they've been able to, give me in life for me to reach, where I'm at. Second, my friends. My friends are a huge part of my backbone too. Being real with me, telling me, listen, man, like it's not your time yet, but just keep working. Or listen, man, like a whole bunch of stuff, just constructive criticism. That's what your friends are there for. So um and the few friends that I really call friends that I have in my life right now, I thank them truly for that. In regards to the industry and stuff like that, people that kind of gave me an olive branch and were like, man, I care about your story, you know, let's work. A lady by the name of Patricia Robinson, she was a an individual that worked for MS Communications. She at the time was working for Hot 97. I actually have to give her a call soon, man. But she was the first individual to ever invite me to anything in regards to being professional in the radio music world. She invited me to Hot 97. I met her when I was in school. She came for a panel, and I searched up her name. I was like, wow, like she has done a lot in the music industry, and for Hot 97, I would love to connect with her. That led to a month later, me being at Hot 97 with all of the best radio DJs around me, and I'm at the same table as them. DJ Enough right across from me, got Camelo to my left, DJ Stacks to my right, Pretty Lou, all these people. And I'm like,
Legends.
bro, I was sitting at a table in a music meeting in a suit at Hot 97 with people laughing at me like, why is this motherfucker wearing a suit right now? Bro, I came in
It's
with a
like that. It's
suit,
like that.
a
Yeah.
collared shirt, comb hair. They're like, you would think I was going to the White House or something to meet the president. They're like, what is this man doing right now? Like, what?
He was clean. He was looking
I
clean.
was looking way too clean, so, and all of a sudden, like, Lil Baby walks in when he was starting his career and he's showing us Yes Indeed with Drake. And I'm like, wait, what the hell? This is crazy. A Boogie walked in right after that before A Boogie was A Boogie, you
Yeah.
know? So I was just like, this is ridiculous. And from that day, from that point on, it changed the scope of what I wanted to do in music. I'm like, radio, this is where I want to be. Not because of the celebrities and the guests and this and that. I fell in love with the behind the scenes work. You know, artists coming in, getting opinions on DJs, getting opinions on channel coordinators, directors, you know, them hearing it first, album layouts, the stuff that they're rolling out for the rest of the year. I fell in love with all that. I'm like, wow, I love the business side of music. You know, it's cool to be the talent. It's cool to be the radio DJ. It's cool to be the air personality. It's cool to be all that. But when it comes down to the business side of music, I fell in love with that. The numbers, all of that. What it is to be able to push a record for it to get to a certain standing in the Billboard, from understanding all the label logistics to royalties and all that. I fell in love with all that, man. So yeah, shout out to Patricia Robinson, another Hot 97 cat. DJ Enough, for sure, coming to my college radio show. DJ Stacks, you know, he always is sending me new music, keeping my crates updated. Wow. Steve Lobel coming to my college radio show as well. He had us literally on a call with DJ Khaled, you know, and I'm just like, everything is just coming into fruition right now. I'm just a kid in college, you know, have all these people looking at my radio show, caring to invest in what I'm trying to do in regards to investing their time, not their money, not anything else, their time. That meant the world to me. When someone came from Brooklyn or Queens or Connecticut just to come on my show, that meant the world to me, man. You know, they could have been anywhere in the world. They could have said no. I didn't have 300 followers. I didn't have 500 followers. I didn't have anything crazy like that at the time. It was all word of mouth and just good reputation and, you know, reputation, excuse me. So fortunately I was able to make it happen. My guy Tone Vieira, you know, Destroy, Swaggy C as well for helping me really, really early in my career when a whole bunch of different outlets during the pandemic told me that, you know, unfortunately, you know, we can't have you as a selected person in our internship program. And, you know, while I was told no by every outlet in New York City, Swaggy C gave me an opportunity and she told me yes. And that's stuff that I will never, ever forget in my life. And I'm endlessly thankful for that. And they're just different stuff that have, you know, allowed me to be where I'm at. Um, and who else, man? There's so many individuals that it actually reminds me now, Anthony. I actually gotta, you know, reach out to a few people and just see how they're doing. But yeah, man, my whole Hot 97 family, for sure. People that have come to my college radio show, people that still reach out to me to this day. My friends, my family, those are just, you know, a select few people that have, you know, helped me throughout my career for sure, man. And we're only getting started. We're only getting started, you know? There's a lot.
It's only good from here.
Yeah. There's a lot that I want to do, you know, and I'm just respecting my path right now, making sure that I'm understanding all the different functions of what I'm doing, understanding my job. And I know that God willing, one day I'll be to the point that I want to be at and that the company wants me to be at. But right now, it's just about me understanding my workload and just a whole bunch of other stuff, you know? So, yeah, man, shout out to all those people. I love you guys. Anybody that's watching this, we love you. We care about your story, and you are not by yourself ever. Uh, Always know that you can resort to a lot of things in life. You know, people, your family, your friends, and whatever you want to do in your career. Always do your homework. Just do some research. People aren't reaching out through LinkedIn. Don't worry about it. Use social media. Use whatever it is. Do your homework. Find someone in the company that you want to work for, and find your way in. You know, shoot them an email, shoot them a text. They might not get back to you when you want them to get back to you, but they'll get back to you 2 months later, 3 months later, when they may need you. And you might not need them, but it's okay though. Still reach back, still, you know, never burn bridges in life. And never do things for money. Don't ever do things for money. You know, always do it for the opportunity because experience is worth more than life than money. The more experience you have, the more you get paid. You know?
That's a fact right there. You
Yeah,
said
man.
it. You said it right. And I can tell you from experience, man. Like the way you explained your story is the same exact way how I got into this whole thing.
That's
I
dope, man.
reached out to like several producers who work for Shade 45 from
Mm-hmm.
like Torch, Tone, and
Torch and Tone. That's
yeah,
powerful. Two
John
powerful names,
Matthews
man.
in LA, everybody.
John Matthews. That's crazy.
I
Man, you
reached
know a
out when
lot,
I
man.
tell
John.
you everybody, like I reached out to everybody to see if I can like I just wanted to spend a day in the studio to like get the experience, you know.
Of course,
And
man.
I was either getting left on red or just didn't get a response at all. And
Yeah.
eventually, like a year later, I took another risk and I hit up Tone, and Tone was the one
Yeah.
who gave me that chance. So I definitely got to
Bro,
give
yeah.
a big shout out to Tone out there, man.
Dude, Tone, man. He's one of the most genuine dudes I think I ever met in my life, man. Like, I honestly wish the whole music industry could be like Tone. This is, Tone, like, what a lot of people don't know about Tone is that he's actually like a really good dude, man.
He
He
is.
cares about every show that he does. He puts in so much time, so much effort to make imaging pieces, which is the stuff that you hear between song and song, since we don't do commercials on the music end on Destroy's show. Sometimes you may hear, like, I don't know if you hear a dude named Paisa from Arizona that he goes crazy on Destroy's show. That's actually me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So like
Oh
so that
shit.
yeah, so like I mean, Tone and I mean, like one day I just turned on the mic, I said a whole bunch of funny stuff, and Tone's like, yo, bro, I need to clip that right now and put it in the show. Tone's like that. He'll see something outside the studio, he'll think about it, and he'll go that night, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, chop it up and put it for the show the next day. I've learned a lot with him. Being a producer is the show of being a producer of a show is, you're at the helm of the show, meaning that you have to navigate your host. You gotta know what music is appropriate to play at what time. There's so many things, man. And Tone is a wizard. He's well respected. He's well connected. He's I'll tell you something about Tone, man. There was one time there was some dude that was on the street who was giving out CDs for Destroy's show one day. The artist called out like, "Hey, man, I can't do a freestyle on the air. I'm sorry, not for Destroy show, Laura Shear show. I can't do a freestyle on the air. I'm gonna have to cancel for today." He needed someone as a guest. So on his lunch break, he went out in the street real quick to a deli to go get something. He came back on his way back to the studio. There was a kid giving out CDs. Tone was like, "I'm gonna hear this. Give me your number. If I like it, follow. Come to this location." Tone liked it. Had the kid come up, play the song in the air. He couldn't believe it. You know, it's just the power of the job that he has and the power of music. He uses it to his best advantage. Anybody else would have been like, "Hey, bro, throw me 50. Hey, bro, give me $100, bro," and whatever it is. Tone's like, out of the kindness of his heart, he knew he needed somebody, so he found somebody. You know, meant the world to them. The guy is showing a video of him and his mom in the car crying. Like after getting reactions from so many people, and it just meant the world to that artist. And it's just something that Tone, does, for all of the different shows that he does, that is just absolutely phenomenal, man. It's being more than a kind-hearted soul. I don't really have words for it, man. It's just the type of individual that he is. He cares to teach people. He cares about everybody around him. He's always asking how I'm doing. He's always reaching out to me. Always trying to find different ways we could grow and do a whole bunch of stuff, man. Like Tone is someone that I think that every team should have. Someone like them. For sure, man. Shout out to Tone, bro. For real.
Big fact. Shout out to Tone. And I can tell you, I've learned a lot. Like when I first came into this radio scene, I didn't really know too much about it, but I knew like about hip hop history and stuff.
Right.
So I'm thinking like, okay, that's gonna get me in. But Tone made me realize there's more to it that you gotta know aside from what you already know. Like you gotta know different, be versatile and learn different aspects of what's going on in
Right.
radio. And the
Right.
producer side, he's definitely given me a more professional and like pay attention to the smallest details. The smallest details mean everything. Like that's one thing I've learned from Tone a lot from his job.
Everything, man. I mean, I love always just hopping in the studio when Tone's in there just to see him go to work. He is so pristine on everything that he does for all his shows, from sound effects to transitions from song to one song to the other, transitions from segments. Um, and that's why he's so respected in all these different studios and by different hosts, because they feel a sense of comfort with Tone when he's in studio. You know, um, when Tone's on those boards, man, the whole company from like New York, Miami to LA, they all know that if Tone's doing the show, we're good. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
If I'm doing the show, we're good, but we gotta, we gotta give him some pointers. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Tone, he's an awesome dude, man. He's an awesome dude, bro. And I wish a lot of people in the music industry could be more like Tone, man. He generally just cares about people, cares about their story, cares about helping them. He's an all around amazing man, bro. Amazing man.
It's true. And a little secret I could share. Learning from him for like a year straight, it got to the point where I would do research for him sometimes and like send him things for like the hood rap report that he could do to like just help him
That's
a little
dope.
bit. Yeah.
Damn, man. He appreciates stuff like that. That's dope.
Yeah. And sometimes if you're ever tuning in and you hear like an exclusive like Eminem song that you haven't really heard on the station like that, sometimes that's from me sending it to him, like
Get
saying,
out of here.
I found this and maybe one day you could add it to the rotation. And then he'll hit me up like, yo, tune in. I'm about to play it in a few minutes. Yeah.
Bro, but you see, like, there's so many different components. Like, see, you did your homework, right? You found the
Yeah.
producer, someone that worked in the company that you potentially want to work for one day, right? And like a lot of people, especially in music, they get scared to help other people only because it's like, all right, I'm scared this kid's young. He may be coming for my job, you know? Tone doesn't look at it from that aspect. He's like, yo, this is a young kid. He's trying to help me, and he appreciates stuff like that. Even out, everybody could appreciate something like that, but like what you're doing, especially with this show and this channel, is awesome, man. It's stuff that could benefit you with your own experience, because now you're kind of doing work that a producer would have to do one day, that you would want to do one day. So you're getting a head start on that and you're giving yourself your own experience. I know you've asked questions on Sway and on Destroy Show and a whole bunch of stuff that, kind of just leave the host sometimes like, damn, that was a good question. And they open up different avenues in regards to conversations of, what direction can the host go in now, or like the artist, and them sharing more stuff that maybe the host didn't have in their blueprint for the interview, which is dope, man. You know, um, like I told you last time, anytime people see Anthony from YO call, they know like, all right, we got to have that kid on. Like, Anthony's good. You've gained that reputation with us that any of our shows, when you call, we know like, all right, it's going to be an educated question. He's not going to like, say something that's going to throw off the whole show. Sometimes we have callers that will just come on there and be like, hey, listen, X, Y, and Z. And we're just like, whoa, whoa, like, So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, keep doing what you do, bro, because it's only gonna help you in the long run. And most importantly, I see that you're doing it for the love. You know, you're not really doing it for anything else besides the love, and that's dope, man.
Appreciate that a lot. And two more things I want to speak on before we
Of
close
course.
off. First off, in the recording of this episode, we are currently celebrating the 20th anniversary of Shade 45. So I just wanted
Yes,
to give
sir.
a
My
shout
man has
out.
the official.
Yeah. Just wanted to give a shout out to Shade 45. This was a gift from Tone also. So shout out to Tone for giving me this.
Legend, legendary hat, legendary man.
Yes, sir. And
That's fire.
also from Shade 45, we spoke about Destroy a couple times, Destroy, that's the homie right there, full of energy and just an awesome guy overall, man, on and off the air, you can tell.
Mhm.
Um, one thing I wanted you to speak on with Destroy is the experience you had when you got to cover for Tone for the episode when Chino XL had passed away. I wanted you
Damn.
to speak on like your experience and what it was like working in the studio that day, because from my perspective, listening, you like we said, Destroy is normally that like high energy up guy, like always happy, and the first half of the show was like dark and a little sad because Chino XL is like a very impactful guy in Destroy's life. So could you speak on like what it was like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, on that day, I wasn't really educated. Um, to be really honest with you, who Chino XL really was, or what had happened. Um, as I was kind of going over what the news should be, um, I was telling him about it before the show started, and when I mentioned the passing, I saw that like it was really affecting him. I didn't know that they had a relationship, and stuff like that. And um, man, Destroy is one of the, if not, the best hosts that I have ever seen in studio. He is, if ice breaking was a word or was a person, that's him. He knows how to break ice with any guest. You could put him with any guest in studio, and he will get the most organic, quality, like good, positive content. He's never in there to trap you. He's never in there to make you look bad. It's all good vibes. Like he'll tell you your best friend's name from middle school 20 years later because he's that good at doing homework. And it just, like I told you earlier, man, it leaves the guest and it challenges their mind in a good way where it's like, wow, like this man took the time and the effort to actually care about, asking me good questions instead of being like, what made you want to name your album this? Oh, why'd you name this song this? Oh, who are some artists that help you, aspire your career? Very general questions. It's a privilege to be able to work with him. He's someone that works in hip hop, but always puts on for the Latin scene, which is big for me. I'm Latin as well, so to be Latino and put on in in the industry where it's not predominantly Latin and he puts on for us is amazing. And with that show and specifically, it shows you what kind of person he is as well with all his shows. His show is not just for a hip hop listener. You have people that come from all different backgrounds, all different races, whatever it may be, and they all tune into his show from 4 to 7 every day. Whether it's a dad saying, "Hey, I'm in the car with my kids," and him saying, "Hey, your dad's a superhero," to someone being like, "Hey, man, I came back from the war. I'm a little depressed, man, and I just tuned into your show, and bro, you gave me life that I never thought I had, man." You know, there's people that generally rely on his energy every single day, his advice, his positivity, you know. And I think he truly has like a cult following. People love this guy. And it's because of the endless positivity, the originality. Nothing on his show is scripted. So that day, that imagine you seeing somebody that's always jolly and happy, and in one moment you see that like they're hurting, you know? And in that moment, I didn't really know what to tell him. I didn't know what to be said. You know, I didn't know what way to go in because I was hurting as well. Because Destroy's a good guy. I love him. He's provided so much advice for me in my life that he didn't need to. He never needed to provide any of that advice. But he saw someone that was hungry. He saw someone that was a Latin person just like him, and he's always putting me on to game. And just that one day, man. To answer your question, it was hard. It was hard seeing him like that, and I even got a little emotional too because seeing someone that's so happy and that cares about you, and seeing them struggle. The first half of the show was hard, but it shows you a lot about his identity and who he is as a person. He pushed through. He didn't have to come in that day, man. Could have easily took the day off. He could have easily just found time for himself doing something else. But he knew that he had to show up for his people, for his following. He knew he had to show up for his family. He knew he had to show up for his boy, you know? And it said a lot. It said a lot that he didn't even have his producer that day, man, you know? And for Destroy to still come in and finish that show, it says a lot about who he is as an individual, on and off the mic. So, um, yeah, man, I love Destroy. He's an amazing individual. And just being in his presence sometimes in the studio is like, wow, like this man really just did that. Anytime in the studio with him, the guest always says like, damn, that was one of the best interviews I've ever heard or I've ever done. And I'm just like, damn, that's a trend with him. Is he's always, and I love seeing him succeed, man. Just like he loves seeing me succeed. I love seeing him succeed, and I wish him nothing but the best, man. I love D and Tone, man. They're amazing people. Anytime I hit them up, anytime I call, they always pick up. So it's all love, bro. For real, man. Shout out to Deshaun.
Yeah, bro. And I look up to D Shore a lot, man, because like you said, being in the hip hop scene and showing out for the Latino community, that
Yeah,
means a lot to me because it's like I relate to that. Like I grew up in the hip hop community, kind of had a little rough upbringing in my childhood growing up in the streets and whatnot. But luckily, I got
sure.
out in an early age. And to see a guy like him, like I can identify with him and where he came from, his background, and to see him growing and being loved and people are showing like you said, like how they like it's like an occult following almost because
Yeah,
they just love they're in love with his energy, and that's the same way I am too. I feel like because like when I'm at certain jobs, I like to keep a positive energy because one thing I notice like people are always like in that like rest, excuse my language, but rest in bitch face,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, man.
like
Hell yeah.
lighten it up a little bit, be happy.
Nah, of
So
course.
sometimes I'll go up to someone and like rap an old song from back in the day to see if they know the lyrics and they'll rap along with me
Mhm.
and just be goofy, like put a
Yeah,
smile
man.
on people's faces. And so
Yeah,
like that builds up my, like you said, reputation. And they're like, man, every time he's around, we know his good vibes. So the moment you see him upset, something's wrong.
yeah, yeah. Nah, man. It's definitely a very very hard day, but the fact that he pulled through, completed the show. It was I even learned a lot from that day too. So he's an incredible dude, man. Incredible dude, and a lot of people provide and they seek him, for that endless daily dose of happiness that he provides everybody on a daily basis, man. So like you're a daily listener to the show, man. You know that he has something for everybody on that show. You
Hmm.
know, tell me something positive. And they call up and brightens your day. You know, like it gives you a sense of like, what, I'm going through something hard today, but wow, like someone in Wyoming and Arkansas and Miami and New York are going through the same things as me. It's gonna be a good day. So
Exactly.
yeah, I love that he has just that sense of unity, not just for one subset of people, but for everybody as a whole, which is dope. On a hip hop platform. Like it can't
Yeah.
get better than that. He gives you comics, he incites you with music, he can be a therapist in regards to hearing about something that you're going through, whatever it is. Like he'll find a way to put a smile on your face, not in a forced way, in an organic way. I've seen the man work. Nothing on this show is scripted, man. He does everything organically and just fluid.
That's right. Is there anything you want to share to the listeners? Any advice you want to share based off of your experience in closing?
uh yeah, I mean, just three things to take away from this. If you are an individual that feels stuck in your life, that has been not accepted into a program, or into a position, it just may be not the right time for the company, right? But it doesn't mean that it's not the right time for you. Continue to do your homework, find different ways where you could be innovative in anything that you want to do in life, right? Do your homework, and everything that you do, know that it will pay off one day. You're not going to see results in 2 weeks, in a month. You may see them in a year or 2 years. You're not going to get replies all the time from people. Continue to work on yourself, and just know that once you get to where you want to get to, continue to work on yourself. Don't start working on, you know, uh, your new workload or whatever. Continue to work on yourself, right? So you're working on yourself, you're working for your company. Have balance, and don't ever do things for money. Do it for the experience. Yeah, we all need money in life, right? But once you do things for experience in life, um, you will open up more doors for you, and you will come off more respectable too. Sometimes, like, what, this individual is actually doing it for the craft and because they care to get this done and they care to help with our entity or with our project or whatever we care to do. you know Experience is worth more than money, and you will get paid more in life with more experience, right? You can get you can get money back, you can get a relationship back, but you cannot get your time back. I'm gonna do that one more time so it sounds right. Just to end it, you can get relationships back, you can get money back, but you can't get your time back, man. Marquito and Anthony, that's what we're doing, baby. Let's go.
And that closes out another episode of Sanity Symphony Podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace. Yes, sir.